Jérôme, tell us a little bit about yourself and your agency.
I'm the CEO and the founder of the agency called e-Comas. We're based in Luxembourg as the headquarters, but we have teams all over the world in India, in Europe, and in the United States. And we help brands understand and navigate e-commerce and specifically grow their business.
We're talking about Prime Day today. Are we, in your purview, are you thinking international, EU, also US? Like when you talk about Prime Day, are you talking about global or what specifically?
We look at it on a global point of view, but then depending on the brand, we like to have specifics. It's very interesting to see the dynamics in the different countries.
Did you notice any differences in different countries?
So generally, Prime Day has grown significantly compared to last year. It was like we did on all the brands we were handling, we did 180% above. So it was really a great success. It was 50 to 60% more than last year. In terms of countries, the smaller countries, when I talk about smaller countries, smaller Amazon countries like Italy or Spain, are the ones growing most. Because obviously you're starting from a lower number. So we've seen in the recent years, actually, one country having spectacular growth, which is Italy. It's more so than Spain and more so than France.
What in general did you see was different this year than other years?
Our feeling, at least, is we were better prepared, and like a tool we've been using and talking a lot also with you guys is AMC, so Amazon Marketing Cloud, and the fact of having all those insights about, how long before the event you can start to advertise, what's the past purchase, how you can get better customers, involved in your advertising. Feel every event after every event that we're better prepared and that we sort of have an impact on what we're doing. So that's interesting. Also, the fact that there's a lot more tools available, and, we're super excited about sponsored TV, for example, advertising. We've seen the biggest growth on sponsored brands, to be fair. That's where we've seen the largest growth happening. It's less exciting than sponsored TV, obviously, but working very well. And we've seen also CPCs grow, increasing a lot. And that has the competitive environment is becoming more complex, and a lot of more people are playing around. So that's where the insights of AMC and getting to know better and be more strategic is super important. So I think we see it's becoming more interesting, but more competitive, and therefore we need to be even more strategic.
When we think about holiday, what are key learnings going to be from Prime Day going into holiday?
I was talking with the team, and one of the brand managers was sharing with me, sometimes you can actually be strategic in lowering your bids and sort of be patient and not specifically, go super aggressive. Just lower your bids, wait for the others to spend all their money, and then have that low hanging fruits of, the customers. Maybe you will last longer than the others. Be more strategic, be ready when the customers are ready to buy, and not specifically be very careful about your profitability, because sometimes you're super happy, you've sold a lot, but the impact is not as long as you expected, and actually you haven't made any money during the event. We mix the fact of saying, okay, did we really make money? Did we maximize the profits for the brands and the results? And use that also was mixed with the insights driven from AMC and different tools to, okay, how can we then, for each brand, look at it differently? Some brands are very sensitive to promotions and to those events, some a bit less. So you can adjust yourself, and sometimes not running with everyone or being a bit more precise of where you're spending could make you save a lot of money to be able to grow at a later stage, maybe where it makes more sense for your money.
What other trends are you seeing that you think will continue into 2025? Whether it's advertising or, product releases that are coming, things like that, do you think are going to have the biggest impact?
The elephant of the room is AI, right? Is AI a bubble? Will it explode? And so on. So maybe, I don't know, but it's going to change the way we do business, because it's changing on the way you can hyper personalize the ads, the experience on the ads, but maybe even on the PDP, having really banners, visuals, which speaks to you. And then on the other side is the use of technologies such as AMC, or giving you insights and very refined insights on specific customers. So the whole customer journey is becoming much more precise for brands and for agencies. So you can really becoming very granular, and there will be a gap, a void, let's say, which will grow within time between the people who are using all those insights, all those tools, and the others which are not. What I find interesting is that it's becoming more and more affordable to do advertising and to go on in e-commerce, and specifically on Amazon. Like sponsored TV ads are made available for everyone. So you could be doing advertising on TV. Like, how crazy is that? Like 20 years ago, you'd say, okay, you'll be on TV. It's like, no way, I'm too small. Now you can be a small brand or a small budget and be on a TV ad on Prime Video. Changing a creation of a campaign from 3 months to a week. Creating lots of visuals. It's like, okay, that's amazing.
You talk a little bit about streaming TV, which is obviously one of Amazon's big initiatives. What new ad formats and targeting options are you seeing with the best results? And are you seeing good results with streaming TV?
I think the point is to get the brands to really see that and say, okay, is it really for me? You say to the people, you can do it, but it's like the PDPs. If the people don't start the process to get the visuals and everything, there's a bit of work to get there. On the brands we have, it's still a bit early for them to really say, okay, we've been there. We haven't had the ones which were the first movers. Let's say we're really pushing into that, but I think it's a bit early still to say exactly the results on that.
But I think your point is more like it's test and learn phase right now, right? So it's like, hey, there's all these new ad formats. It's never a one size fits all strategy for brand. And so they really need to they need to test these different ad forms, see what's working well for them, right?
100%. And what I love, and that was one of the learnings of speaking with the different people from the leadership in Cannes, is they were saying, we're trying to democratize advertising. And I love this aspect of we're making it available for anyone, like, of course, larger brands, but also smaller, medium brands and people who didn't dream of it. And I think as a purpose, in a sense, is really interesting. Like, it's not only about making big bucks. It's also about, okay, you can give a chance to all the brands who want to shine and didn't have the means or the teams or the knowledge. And that is for us super exciting, because obviously in our portfolio, we have medium-sized brands or smaller-sized brands, and that gives them an enormous opportunity. Our purpose as an agency is to help brands grow, and that's super exciting.
So you mentioned that this has been the biggest Prime Day yet for your brands. You've had tons of growth. Is that because everyone's participating? Is it because there's more than ever more deals for sale? Is it because consumers are now coming in to buy? What trends are you seeing as to why this year is the biggest one for your agency?
So I think there's a conjunction, the stars are aligning in a sense that Amazon has managed to make it, and all the e-commerce platforms have managed to make those specific days and Prime Days like very important days, and everyone is expecting that. So we've seen a surge of customers looking for deals, and you can look at number of people looking at products has increased immensely. So Amazon has done a great job to make it popular. Customers are there, and then brands have seen like, okay, we have to take that window of opportunity, specifically as the last 18 months since COVID, like businesses has been tough because it was COVID, and then there was containers issues, and then there has been war, then has been inflation, and it's like, okay, we need to do whatever it takes to grow business. And I think as consumers, we see when we do shopping, things have prices have increased. So those promotion days are becoming super important if you want to save a bit of money in the things you want to buy. So I think it's really a great alignment of things for brands, for Amazon, and for consumers.
It's almost time to start budgeting for 2025. How are you thinking about your media mix for next year?
The typical answer is like, it depends a bit how mature you are in your journey on Amazon, but it's a bit too simple, right? We have a lot of brands expand into Europe, for example. And when you're starting and you're expanding, obviously there's a question of, okay, maybe you want to go, lower part of the funnel where you really want to boost sales. And if you have smaller budget, you really want to sponsored products, more sponsored brands, and maybe focus on that. But as soon as you've gone through that phase, or if you've got really a branding approach, you want to go really much upper funnel, or like move on the different parts of the funnel. Because if you are lower funnel, this is a bit short term, because at some point you will have used all the customers you had and you didn't grow your funnel, or you didn't put in more customers into that funnel. For me, the idea is that with the new Amazon tools and sponsored TV, the different sponsored video ads, DSP and the different areas around Amazon are super important to bring more customers into your funnel. One thing we are seeing a lot now is a lot of brands are getting interested in social media, obviously, and social commerce with the TikTok shops, Instagram and all of that. And it's like making a full approach. And especially if you're moving from the US to Europe or vice versa, if you're from Europe to the US, probably your brand is not as well known in Europe that it is in the US. Dude Wipes, for example, is super well known in the US. If you go into Europe and you say to someone in the street here, say, do you know Dude? Well, no, not a clue. So maybe if they were to come here, they would have to do, their very smart, clever campaigns about, the brand itself. If you're launching, you will want to use as many tools to spread the word and build your awareness. Being strategic of short, medium, long term. If you're thinking mid or long term, if you're only retargeting your own customers, this will not last very long. So it's really about thinking in long term perspective of what you want, what will be the fueling the growth of next year or in 6 months.
To wrap it up, let's maybe go through the key takeaways of what you talked about today. So I took away 2, and then you please add. So one is Italy. So it sounds like Italy performed really well for Prime Day. So thinking about next holiday, we should definitely look at prioritizing Italy. Number 2 is moving beyond sponsored products. So leveraging more of Amazon's ad products with a test and learn mentality of streaming TV. 3, I think you mentioned Amazon Marketing Cloud. So really looking at and leveraging insights to drive, especially with the competitive environment. This gives you a lot of access to information and data to make your strategy better. What else did I leave or miss?
Talking with the team, they were saying that they believe there will be a gradual shift from keyword search-based targeting, like the typical sponsored product kind of ads, to a much more complex mix. That's what I was talking a bit about, that the fact that this is evolving with so many products that the ones only looking at sponsored products short term will not see a long-term growth. It's like this is becoming more complex, very exciting, but we'll need also people to learn, and it's a great opportunity for us agencies, obviously, and tools, because this will need to be helped, automized, and help with AI and all those things. And we feel that is a very exciting shift in our ecosystem.